Hey, Ben, this is Brianna.
Hey, Brianna, how's it going?
Pretty good. My question is, on terms of the Republican Party and their future as a political party as a whole, when we see, Trump pushing all these policies, all these right-wing agenda, and, it's going to devastate millions of Americans, what kind of damage do you see it long-term when it comes on the brand of the Republican Party? Because we can say they have won this battle, but long-term, we can say they lost the war.
Okay, so the question, let me make sure I'm hearing the question. The question is, out of everything that they're doing, what kind of impact will this have on the Republican Party brand in the long run?
Yes. Okay. Basically.
All right, great question. Thanks for that. I will give you the answer as best I can, or at least as I see it. So this is something that so there's the wishful thinking, and then there's what's probably going to happen. I notice in America, stuff really doesn't change that much, right? We have marginal changes. We have little incremental changes, but nothing significant. Donald Trump is really the most significant change that we've had, for the worse, obviously, but he's the most significant change that we've had. And probably, I don't really know. When's the last time we elected someone who was so different from the presidential norms that we're accustomed to? But back to the point I'm making is that outside of Donald Trump, we really only make marginal, very incremental changes to the left or to the right. We've consistently gone towards the right for the last 30 years, but they've been little steps towards the right. I say that in the context of your question because, number one, it's very possible that even though Donald Trump is this loud, bombastic Neanderthal, it's very possible that the things that he would accomplish are still going to be these marginal shifts to the right in terms of anything that would involve Congress, anything that's going to have a long-lasting standing effect. Here's where he has a really damaging effect on the nation for the long run, his Supreme Court pick, right? But if that Supreme Court pick is nice and wrapped in a very gentlemanly presentation, then it's really not going to have an adverse effect on the party in the long run. Climate change, we've already are at a standstill with that. So I don't think that they could do anything there that's going to change the perception of their own party. And that's really the question that we have to answer is, what could the Republicans actually do to undermine the perception of their core voters or independent voters who swing to the right? That's really the question. One of the things that jumps out, really, we discussed about it last night, the Republican Party's push on the FCC rules, and they're trying to undermine the FCC rules to give internet service providers the permission to sell your data. And I was reading Breitbart. I went to Breitbart. You gotta know what the crazy people are talking about. And you saw like some of the most vitriolic responses from the right towards the Republican Party. So that surprisingly may be one of the issues that could really put a wedge between the Republican Party and their base, the Republican Party and independent voters. I'm answering in this way because outside of something spectacular like that, we're so divided in America. It's very likely that with these incremental style changes that we normally have in America, that there's nothing the Republican Party could do to really damage their brand beyond the pale, beyond the point of recovery. Because you're going to always have a set of people who love the Republicans no matter what, just like you have a set of people who love the Democratic Party no matter what. The real question is there any way we could get more divided or be more divided in the United States? That's the real question. Is there any way that we could actually be even more divided along partisan lines, where everything our party does is perfectly fine and everything the opposing party does is always wrong, no matter how objectively untrue that may be? So I really don't know. I don't want to say. You would think electing Donald Trump would be enough to sully their brand for a generation. that may not be the case because of just how hyper partisan the United States really is. And not to disdain or to have disdain for partisanship, because partisanship has its place. But when you get to the point where partisanship goes above and beyond what is rational, then we have a serious problem. We have a major problem. And that's where we are right now.